Yo, how we doing, guys? It's your boy Flicks back with another live stream. Um, yeah, I was running a bit late. I was meant to be on at 8 o'clock, but yeah, I'm here now, guys. Get smashing the likes, get subscribing if you are new to the channel. As I speak, Real Madrid have just equalised against Benfica, so that's 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate to Real Madrid. But yeah, man. Tottenham are doomed, aren't they? Tottenham are doomed. The big question is, everyone's saying it now. Are we in a relegation fight? Of course, we're in a relegation fight. Of course, Tottenham Hotspur are in a relegation fight. But some might say there's still a long way to go. 11 more games to go. 11 more games to go. Are there? Is there any more fight within the squad that we do have left? Is there? Or is it that saying that they've given up? Have they all given up? Again, there's that saying of, especially going back to the North London derby last weekend, where we see Igor Tudor. He's trying to get Mickey Van der Ven's attention, and he's just ignoring everything he's saying. Now, when you're seeing that, it's like, well, there you go then. There's certain players within that squad that just have very, very bad attitude. They don't want to be there, and it just stinks. It stinks the place out to the freaking core. And yeah, it's very, very sad, very, very heartbreaking to see that. It really is. The likes of them, they get paid stupid amounts each week, and it's a business at the end of the day. We all know that it is a business. It's a business. They come there to do the job, if you want to call it that, and they come away from it. But the likes of me and you, we're fans. We're fans. We stick by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club through thick and thin. You know what I mean? Unless you're a glory hunter, because there's many of them out there. But you know what I mean? Like, come on. If you know me, I've been a Spurs fan for many, many years. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give my age away, but I have stuck by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club since I was born. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? But the likes of them, they come and go. I've seen so many players come and go. I've seen so many managers come and go. And yeah, it's just to think where we were with Pochettino now to this. It's you couldn't make it up. You really, really, really couldn't make it up. Really couldn't make it up. But yeah. Yes, guys. It's. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the current situation that we are in? What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section, guys. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on? Well, yeah, just like I said, on the current situation. Do you think Tottenham will go down? Do you reckon we will survive and scrape another season? You've only got to think back to last season. We finished fourth from bottom. I know that the bottom three were miles off it, if I remember rightly. Who went down in the end? Was it Leicester, Southampton, and who was the other club that went down? But anyway, last season, though, those three teams that went down, there was a much bigger gap compared to this season. So we can all say that Wolves are gone, Burnley are gone, but just lately, Wolves have shown a bit of fight. They are showing a bit of fight, aren't they? They are showing a bit of fight. They're They're not easy to break down. You've only got to go back to how they were against the Arsenal only a couple of weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, wasn't it? They were 2 goals down, and by some miracle, Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are sitting rock bottom of the Premier League with only about 9 points and 1 win under their belt, they pulled 2 goals back against the leaders. Some might say they could have won the game, but then you look at us. You look at us. You know what I mean? We go and lose 4-1 to the Gunners, and this is what I mean. There's teams around us that are scoring the goals. They're fighting, yet Tottenham are just sat there and they're slowly sinking. They are slowly sinking into that bottom 3. And if we're not very careful, if we are not careful, we will be sucked into that bottom 3. Swap places with West Ham, because West Ham are fighting. They're scoring the goals, aren't they? They are scoring the goals. Like I said earlier in one of my streams or whatever it was, West Ham, going back to the January transfer window, they signed players. They signed goal scorers. They got Somerville playing like he's Messi. Know what I mean? They're scoring. They're creating chances. Look at Leeds. Leeds are down there in the mix, but they're slowly gaining away now. They're running away a bit, I should say. Sorry. You know, they're getting the goals. They're getting the goals. Nottingham Forest, have they got any fight in them? Obviously, they've changed managers. They've gone through they're on their 4th manager now, aren't they? On to their 4th manager. Now, it's without double checking the table. Look, it's out of West Ham, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, maybe Palace. I was going to say Leeds, but I think Leeds are out of it now. They're safe. Safe as ours is Leeds. Safe as ours is. Some might say Palace are. But look, with about 11 games to go, we've still got to play Wolves, haven't we? Let me just quickly go through, double check the table. Bear with me, guys. Sorry, the fixtures. So look, we got Fulham. We have Fulham up next this weekend. Let me know in the comments section right now. Do you think Tottenham will get anything at Craven Cottage on Sunday afternoon? You've only got to go back to when we last played Fulham. What was the score? 2-1. 2-1. It could have been a much bigger scoreline from what I do remember in that game. Again, Vicario cost us, in my opinion. Vicario cost us, and I don't know about you, but I've had enough of Vicario. So, like I said, are we actually going to get anything from that Fulham game? And then up next, only a couple of days after, we're back at the lane against Crystal Palace. Now, we just about beat Palace, didn't we? Just about beat Palace. Again, Palace are a bit hit and miss. You know, we could lose that, draw, win, whatever. It's Palace and I push over. And then it gets even deeper, doesn't it? 15th of March, we are at Anfield, away to Liverpool. Now, 9 times out of 10, we don't get anything, home or away, against Liverpool. So, realistically, that's another loss there, isn't it? That's another defeat there against Liverpool. So we're dropping more points, aren't we? So just looking at those first 3 there, what I've just said, Fulham, Palace and Liverpool, are we going to get anything from those games? Possibly a draw against Fulham. Palace, another draw. You know what I mean? I'm finding it very, very hard to see where we're going to get all 3 points. And then we're going into a relegation scrap. We're back in that mix now with the teams down there. Sunday the 22nd of March. We're back at the Lane against Nottingham Forest. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section, but I know we definitely lost that game. But I'm sure it was like was it a 3-0, 3-1 Forest? I know we was outplayed and we lost. So again, I really can't see where we are going to get the points from. Nottingham Forest, they've changed managers. They're scoring goals. You only got to go back again to last weekend when Forest played Liverpool, and Forest only just lost that game, didn't they? Obviously, I didn't see the game because it was leading up to the big North London derby. But from what I saw of the highlights and obviously rumours and things and swirling around on social media, and obviously the goal time in itself, I think McAllister got the winner for Liverpool, but Liverpool literally got that winner in the dying minutes. Was it the 97th minute, wasn't it? Something like that. 97th minute, McAllister got all 3 points for Liverpool. But, Forest were holding on. They made it very, very difficult for Liverpool. So going by that, are we actually going to get anything? Probably not. Probably not. Honestly, and then we're going into April. We are going into April. Now, obviously, April is where the likes of Mohamed Kudus was rumoured to be coming back. Still no talk about Kudus whatsoever yet, is there? Nothing yet, is there? So, April the 11th, we are away to Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. And now, again, going back to when we last played them, I'm sure that finished 1-0. Now, this time around, we're at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland will not make it easy. Sunderland are having a very, very good season back in the Premier League. They were, at the start of the Premier League, they were one of my teams to go down, along with Wolves. But yeah, they have really surprised me, Sunderland. So, again, are we going to get all 3 points? Are we? Because look, you've only got to look at it this way. This scenario, we are struggling to score goals, aren't we? We are struggling to score goals. And going back to when Thomas Frank was there and he shipped off Brennan Johnson, our top scorer last season. Our top scorer last season, yeah, he shipped him on. And again, going back to January, where I'm thinking, okay, they've shipped off Brennan Johnson. So they're making way for him to get someone better. Obviously, they didn't in the end, did they? They didn't. We ended up with Conor Gallagher, who I do rate. A Brazilian left back, and some young kid from Hearts that's gone straight into the under 21s. You know what I mean? This is where the saying of ambition at the football club. We have been neglected. We have been neglected, haven't we, over the years? To think where we were, for example, with Pochettino, Poch was building something very, very special, wasn't he? If you can remember that far back. Think back to what we had then to what we've got now. This is what I mean. Neglected. We have been neglected. The board, the piss poor board, as I call them, because they are. And the ownership, Enoch, the Lewis family, their little circle. And here we are, guys. So going back onto the set of fixtures that we have left now, talking about Sunderland. Now, obviously, the last time we played Sunderland, we drew 1-0, didn't we? So, are we going to get anything there? Again, like I said, with goal scorers, we are crying out for a goal scorer. We are having to rely on the likes of Mickey Van der Ven and Romero. You know what I mean? Even though they've been a bit quiet past couple of weeks, but Again, I can't see Spurs getting anything from this game. And then we are back at the lane on the 18th of April against Brighton. Now, I can't remember what that score was against Brighton. If anyone can let me know in the comments. But again, Brighton are not, they're not an easy team, are they? They're not a team you can just brush aside. They do make it hard work for teams. So again, are we going to get anything from Brighton? And then the last fixture in April, before going to the last 4 in May, we are away to Wolverhampton Wanderers. We are at the Molineux. Now, let's not forget, Wolves are sitting rock bottom, currently only on that 9 points with 1 win. And the last time we played Wolves, we drew 1-1, didn't we? And that was, yeah, we just about got a point, didn't we? We just about got a point there, didn't we? Where in literally, what is it, 90 something, 91st, 92nd minute, I can't remember, something like that. I know it was last knock-ins where Jalpalina got an equaliser. And yeah, to think we nearly lost that game, and we're celebrating like we got all 3 points, and that's against Wolves. So being at the Molineux, are we going to get anything? And saying that, like I said earlier in my stream, Wolves are. I know it's far too late now, and that mathematically they're not going to get out of that. They're not going to get out of that bottom 3 unless they literally win all their remaining games. But going back to this one, again, are Spurs going to get anything? They're not going to make it easy for us. And again, we're not going to make it easy for ourselves. So again, where are the points coming from? And then we're going into May, guys. We're going into May. The 2nd of May against Aston Villa. Again, our form against Aston Villa just recently has not been very, very good, has it? It's not been good, has it? So, you know what I mean? I really don't see where the points are coming from. I really don't. This is what I mean. Hence the fun now. We are doomed. We are doomed for relegation. Now, some might say, but Flicks, you want Spurs to go down, Enoch to go, blah 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 blah. No. I would never ever say, because I've had Spurs fan message me on socials. Look, I don't want Spurs to go down. Of course, I don't want my club to go down. But what's pissing me off right now is the simple fact of it. Look, it's a mixture of things, isn't it? You got players, you got the board, you got the ownership. Players, board, ownership. Yeah. There's certain players that don't want to be at our club. We know that. The likes of Romero. That's a definite one. Even though he's been rumoured for the past at least 2 years that he wants out and he's been linked with Atletico Madrid. Even though that, again, he's been linked with a move to Atletico Madrid in the summer. And now we've got Mickey van der Ven. Again, rumour has it he wants out in the summer. Now going back to the North London derby where Igor Tudor's trying to, tell him to push upfield, and he's just standing there. He's ignoring his orders. But for me, that's telling me he's lost the dressing room already. Certain players don't want to be there. Their attitude stinks, and they're not playing for this anymore. They're not playing for the crest. And then you got the board. Johan Lang, Vanai. They're running around like headless chickens. They haven't got a Scooby what to do. Have they? They haven't got a Scooby what to do. Running around left, right, and centre. You know what I mean? They literally don't know what they are doing. And then you got then you got Enoch, the Lewis family. Again, going back to Thomas Frank. Going back to Thomas Frank, where especially when Daniel Levy left the club. and rumour had it that the Lewis family, Enoch, whatever you want to call them, come out and says, we're going to splash the money, make some signings. Did that happen? Of course it didn't. Of course it didn't. Of course it didn't. You know what I mean? But that's another little discussion that I will get onto very, very shortly. But going back to the fixtures, are we going to get anything from Villa? Probably not. Probably not. And then we're going down to the last three set of fixtures now. We got Leeds, Chelsea away, and then we're back at the lane. Our last game of the season, and possibly our last Premier League game against Everton. Now going back to Leeds, we got all 3 points, didn't we, against Leeds? I'm sure we did. I'm sure we did without double checking. So at home, 9th of May against Leeds. Our Spurs going to do the double over Leeds this season. Are we? Are we? It's, again, in our current situation, again, like I keep saying, I really don't know where the goals are coming from and where the points are coming from. Chelsea, we are definitely not going to win that one because, again, like your Liverpool's, 9 times out of 10, we'd be lucky to get a point against them boys. And especially if you know our record at Stamford Bridge it's not very good, is it? It's very, very poor. So again, where are the points coming from? And then last game of the season, 24th of May, back at the lane against Everton. Everton won't make it easy for us. They're how can I put it? They're one of your bogey sides, aren't they? Don't make it easy for you, especially now David Moyes is there back at the club. They don't make it easy. So going on to those last 11 games, I honestly don't know where the points are coming from. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't, guys. And it's heartbreaking to think that Tottenham Hotspur Football Club could be playing Championship football next season. What do you make of that one, guys? What do you make of that, guys? Let me know in the comments section. Do you think Spurs will be relegated? Yes or no? Hit us up in the comments. Of course, it's going to be an interesting one, but it's going to be nervy. It's going to be heartbreaking if we do get sucked into that. Because, like I said, that it just, from my opinion, there just seems to be no fight, no spirit, nothing. It's just dead. It's just dead. There's no fight in them, is there? There's no fight in them whatsoever. So, yeah. What do you make of that one, guys? What do you make of that one? Do you actually think we will get out of it? Do you actually think we will get out of it or not? Because, yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Couple of little comments here. Coys. Another comment here. Who we got? Aussie Ange in the house. Good evening. We are getting 40 points and winning the UEFA Champions League. You heard it here first. You know what? A lot of people have said that. Obviously, going back to last season where we finished fourth from bottom. And by some miracle, won our first trophy in 17 years. You know what I mean? Look, of course, it would be funny. In some ways, it would be funny. You know what I mean? It would be funny. But you got to look at the other side of it. It's been another piss poor season. No ambition, no fight, There's players within the club that don't want to be there. The board are just running around like headless chickens, haven't got a Scooby-Doo what to do. And you've got Enoch lurking around like a bad smell when we're all begging him to sell up. Begging Lewis to sell up. Move on. Give us some owners that actually want to improve our beloved football club. Take it where it should be. Know what I mean? If put it this way, like I've said before, if you used to walk up the high road and see Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, you'd look at that stadium and go, wow, they must be a big football club, man. Big football club. And then when you look into it and you go, fuck me, shit, 12 defeats in the league, not scoring the goals, gone through manager after manager after manager. There's players that don't want to be there. Wow, they are in the shit. And here we are. You know, and to think if we are playing championship football with the stadium we've got, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy. It is really, really crazy, guys. But what do you make of that? What do you make of that, guys? What do you make of that? You know, like I said, are we going down? Are we going to go down? Or are we going to survive? Are we going to be okay? Yeah. You know, it's, again, rumour had it today, late this afternoon, early evening-ish. A couple of players are back in full training. And I don't know if you heard this, but Kevin Danzo and the other one was Romero, not Romero, Pedro Porro. So Kevin Danzo and Pedro Porro are back in full training. Now, come on, I'm all for that. I am all for that. We've missed Porro with his crosses because, in my opinion, he's the only one that can actually ping a ball into the box, take players on. Kevin Danzo, you know what I mean? For me, he's your old-fashioned centre-back. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they're there. I'm glad they're there because we've missed them. We've missed them. We've missed them. Obviously, when the likes of Mohamed Kudus was first told he's going to be out for a good few months, that was trying to think back to when he was injured. Way before Christmas, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. But now, you know, April's getting closer, and that's when Kudus should be back. Now we've still not heard any more news on Kudus, his recovery, have we? We've heard absolutely nothing about that, nothing whatsoever. You know what I mean? James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski, are they going to play? Are they going to play any football this season? I honestly can't see it. If anyone, maybe James Maddison. Maybe James Maddison. But you know, we're crying out for these boys, aren't we? We're crying out for these boys. When you look at them two alone, there's no creativity, is there? And they guarantee you goals as well, don't they? Them two, Maddison and Kulusevski, they guarantee you goals. And then you got the rest of the boys, Bergville. You know what I mean? Even Kingsky's out, and he's not even played. It's just it does baffle me with the medical staff, what actually goes on. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy. But when I mentioned about the ownership earlier in my stream, where they're going to be spending money now, I don't know if you heard about this. This broke yesterday, so I'm going to read it out to you guys anyway. So Spurs Spurs plan to rip up wage structure and invest in the squad if relegation is avoided. Tottenham's owners are planning to rip up the club's rigged wage structure and undertake a major squad overhaul this summer if relegation is avoided. Spurs are at risk of dropping into the Championship with Igor Tudor's side sitting 16th with 4 points off the drop zone. On a 9-game winless run in the Premier League, but it's claimed that if Spurs avoid relegation, then the Lewis family trust that owns the club will make big signings in the summer, with the acknowledgement that the club have underinvested in player salaries for years. Tottenham's wage bill is reportedly the lowest so-called Big Six clubs, but there is growing feeling that a correction is overdue. The report says in January, the signing Conor Gallagher is on wages of about £200,000 a week, making him their highest paid player. What do you make of that, guys? What do you make of that? What do you make of that? That little section where it says if Tottenham avoid relegation, there is going to be a big overhaul within the squad. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've heard this before, haven't we? We've heard this before. You know, when I'm seeing this and I'm reading it out to myself, I'm thinking, like I said, we've heard this before. It's complete and utter. It's got to be. It's going back to when Johan Lang was interviewed about three weeks ago, wasn't it? Maybe a little bit longer than that. And the stuff he was coming out with, it's just, it's like it's brainwashing me. It's just complete and utter shit. Feeding us so much shit. You know, he's forgetting what's going on right now in the current situation. It's that saying of brush it under the carpet, hope the likes of me and you forget about it. And seeing this, what I've just read out to you guys, it's given me those same vibes. It's given me them same vibes because we've seen this before from Enoch. We've heard this before from Enoch. It's same old, same old, same old, same old, same old. Until it actually happens, then I'll believe it. But right now, we are in the mud. The club itself is rotten to the core. Rotten to the core. From the players, from the medical staff, the recruitment, management, the board, the whole lot. The whole lot of them. The whole lot of them. It is all one big mess, isn't it? One big mess at our beloved football club. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you would know there's only one manager that I want at the club, and that is Maurizio Pochettino. You know what I mean? The guy should have never got the boot in the first place. You know, to think what he was building. He was building something very, very special. But at the end of the day, Daniel Levy didn't back him, did he? He did not back him. Didn't back him. And again, some might say, and it is true, since Poch, we've had winnable managers. They've been at previous clubs, done it, got the t-shirt, but you come to Spurs, can't do it. Cannot do it. Cannot do it. Going back to when Conte spoke his mind about how it is beyond closed doors, he spoke his mind. He got the boot because he spoke his mind. Now, yeah, it's true. It doesn't matter who comes through the door. It's just going to be that same cycle of shit. Same. But with Poch, when he was at our club, he had the whole squad around him. They all loved him. We adored him. The players adored him. He got the youth breaking through at the time with your Harry Winks and your Skip, who at the time were showing a lot of potential. You know what I mean? We had a Harry Kane. I know. I mean, we had a fantastic squad, But when the likes of Moussa Dembele left, never replaced. You've only got to think back to now. Harry Kane sold on. Who do we get? Solanke. Heung-min Son gone. Who do we get? You know what I mean? Odibert, Mathis Tell, whatever, innit? You know what I mean? The list goes on and on and on and on. You know, there's that saying of, would any of our current players get into that Poch team? And the answer is no. Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. It's mental, isn't it? It's crazy. It's crazy. But like I said, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what manager comes in, it's going to be the same thing time and time and time again. Unless the board itself and the ownership buck their ideas up and seriously back the manager. Give the manager what they want. Because you've only got to look at this scenario. Rumour had it back in Ange Postecoglou's days. He wanted Gibbs White. Now we know that one for sure. He wanted Gibbs White. Didn't happen. Didn't happen, did it? You know, there's, you know, there was other big name players that wanted to move to Spurs, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. The board at the end of the day says no. We ain't got the funds to support it. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Of course they've got the funds. Of course they have. Of course they have. It's just like I keep saying, there's just no ambition whatsoever. No ambition is there. There's no ambition. No ambition. But going back to, if, it's a big if, I know. If we do go down, then, you know, we're still going to have a massive squad overhaul, because the likes of Romero, he's not going to stick around. Mickey Van der Ven's not going to stick around. Pedro Porro's not going to stick around. Adugi's not going to stick around. Madison, Kulusevski, the list is endless. They're not going to stick around. The only players that I feel that might stay is someone like Odibert, maybe a Solanke, maybe Sarr, Kinksky. But it's mental, isn't it? It's crazy. It's just shit, isn't it? It's terrible. It's terrible. It's really, really terrible. But yeah, obviously going back to Sunday's game, are we going to get anything? Are we going to get anything at Craven Cottage? The answer is probably no. I really can't see where we are going to get the points from. I honestly can't see that, guys. I honestly can't see where we are getting the points from. I really can't, guys. I really can't. I really can't. I might call it a day there, guys. But yeah, thank you for joining. Please, if you haven't done so already, smash the likes. Please smash the like on this video. Check out the other vids as well. Please smash the likes on them. Please hit that subscribe button. Please sub to the channel if you haven't done so already. Yeah, man, it really mean a lot to me if you could sub. But yeah, like I said earlier, it's going to be interesting to see how many points Tottenham do pick up moving on to Sunday's game and onwards. You know, it is good to see that we've got Kevin Danzo back in full training. Pedro Porro, again, back in full training. So it's a slight boost there, isn't it? A slight boost. But still, we need better. We need better. You know what I mean? I'm missing the likes of James Madison and Kulusevski. Bad. So bad. So bad. But here we are. Here we are, guys. That is enough from me. I'm going to call it a night there. But like I said, please smash the likes, get subscribing, and I will catch you lot on the next video. Take it easy and up the Spurs, guys, in a bit.